Hello, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I am Disco Kitty, the Crappy Crafter. Today we're going to be working on another Kraft Kitsune. This one, I believe, I haven't looked at it yet, I believe is the Halloween something. Look, it even came in an orange baggie. How cute is that? I can't wait to get into it. So, let's do just that. Alright, I'm excited. Let's see what's in the box. A little pamphlet tells us what comes in the box, instructions. As of making this video, her video wasn't up yet, so we'll just go and do what we can. Little trees, the mold, such cute things, so many cute things. I love everything in this. This was wrapped in cling film, so it was really hard to get out. There was also some UV resin in there, which I may or may not have forgotten to add to this video, but, you know, it's UV resin. Everybody loves a good peel. A mat of flocking, which is super cool. I love the idea of it. Alright, let's put the tray together. Gotta put the little legs on the base, or on the top, or whatever. It even comes with a screwdriver. How handy is that? That's so handy. Only one left. That means an extra one. That's good. Now, let's get right into making this. These came from a previous kit. I think it was the last kit. And they are going to work so well with this. Now remember, anytime you use UV resin, you must, absolutely must, cure both sides. So it has to be a relatively transparent mold or the light won't get through. Make some swirls. I'm hoping that it will look like wood. It kind of looks like wood. It gives the impression of wood, which is fine. Remember, cure both sides for a long time because these are opaque resins and the light does not go through very well. Later I'll make the pumpkins and stuff, and the pumpkins were still a little squishy, just a little tiny bit after like 5 minutes of curing, so they probably could have gone longer, but they'll be okay as long as you don't puncture them. Oh, look at how cute that is. And it's a perfect fit. Fabulous. I love it. Great little box. It could be a great little trinket box. So I'm going to mix up some black resin, some white resin, and some orange resin. Still using the UV resin. I will use this whole bottle of UV resin on this project. And a little bit extra from my own stock. Now there were add-ons for this kit which I didn't really understand at the time, so I didn't get them. And by the time I realized what was going on, it was too late to get them. So that's okay. I don't have the house or any of the other interesting things, so this will be very plain, and that's alright. I still like the way it comes out in the end. Torching it to get rid of bubbles and to make it a little bit thinner. The warmer it is, the thinner it will be. And the better it'll get into all the little crevices and corners, and I still end up with a couple bubbles, but you know, that's okay. This is a very opaque resin. Like I say, I probably put too much white in, and it doesn't let any of the light into the very center, so if you poke it with a fingernail, you can tell that it's still a little squishy. But it'll be okay, as long as it doesn't get punctured. And the cauldron is very, very, very thin. After I took everything out of the molds, I also gave them a good 3 or 4 minutes under the lamp again, just to make sure. The pumpkins were a little hard to get out. The cauldron's a little bit harder to get out, but these weren't bad. I've had much worse molds. I really liked them. I liked the scaredy cat. And I really like the sitting cat, although both of the ones that I make are kind of sort of missing their ears. And that's okay. It makes them look like they have horns instead. The bats are super cute. I don't think I ended up using them in this project though. You just have to turn the cauldron one inside out to get it. Or at least that's how I had to do it. I never got around to going back to watching her video after she had posted it. The tombstones are cute. The bubbles actually make them look a little worn, so that's good. Gonna use up the rest of the resin that I cured or made and have more pieces to play with. Avalanche. You should just see my desk. I have like a 1 foot by 2 foot area that I can work on my desk because I never clean it. Here I'm gonna cut it to fit, kind of. I should have measured it properly, but it works. It's more organic this way, right? And cutting the mat leaves so much flocking around. Going to sand this up a little bit so the UV resin sticks to it. This section I am going to turn into a little stone pathway. The stones are probably a little bit big in comparison to everything else, but it's still pretty cool. That light I got from Jackie Nerdy Crafter's first kit. I just got her second kit as today while I'm doing this voiceover, so I'm super excited to go play with that. Anyways, so I flash cure them with the flashlight, and then I give them a good cure with the nail lamp, and it worked really well. I was surprised. Despite how huge they are in comparison with the other props. Wiping it down with a little alcohol, because if there's any powder left on there, the paint won't stick. Now here's when I realized that it's probably easier to put the paint behind the project that I'm working on instead of constantly reaching over it. Gonna dry it, and I put on a second coat because I could still see through some portions of it. And when I'm done doing that, I actually hold it up to a light and really get in there. Here, I had tried to adhere some of the pieces down with just glue right on top of the grass, and of course that didn't work. I had also tried to force them through the mat because it didn't look like it was really that sturdy, but obviously it was sturdy enough to not let the posts through, so I had to cut holes in order to be able to glue down all the stuff. Most of the stuff. Stuff that had flat bottoms, like the pumpkins, they were fine. The trees were horrendous. I'm not good at using glue. I always put on too much and it just never cures. Especially these instant glues. And I have the fan going because of the fumes. I don't want to be breathing that directly, and I didn't want to break out a mask just for the glue. Probably could have done a better job planning this out beforehand, but it's cute in the end anyways. Round here, getting close to around here is where I run out of this particular glue, and I start using a different glue that I think came from one of her previous kits as well, but not entirely sure. I don't remember. It could have come from a Sophie and Toffee kit too, but that doesn't seem likely. And yes, I know a headstone is called a headstone because it goes at the head of the grave, but you know what? Whatever. And yes, I did glue a sitting kitty onto the top of the casket, and I thought that was super cute. Very cliche. We like cliche here. And the cauldron, which I thought about filling with some resin and some microbeads just to give it a pop of color, but after today, who is going to see it? Scaredy cat on top of one of the gravestones. Here I'm mixing up a more stone colored paint to paint each individual stone. It's alright. The gray that I had was a lot more blue than I was expecting, but I think it came out okay in the end. Here's where I'm touching up the edges. And there it is. Trees. Oh, the trees. Trees gave me apoplexy, I swear. I just had such a hard time getting them in there, getting them down through the mat, getting the glue to hold. And they were so spiky and owie. Putting a cat in the middle of the path. And then I pulled off a couple of tufts of the matted flocking and just glued them in random places, relatively random places. I thought it came out super cute. Well, that came out a lot cuter than I expected. Here it is. I think it came out super cute. Super cute. Look, little black cats, little trees, pumpkins. The cauldron is super cute. It's very, very thin though, so you have to be careful with that. I left the top off of the casket in case I wanted to hide some little itty bitty tiny thing, and it would have to be a little tiny thing in there. Put a little cat. I really like these sitting cats. They are super, super cute. I had a hard time with the glue, but, you know, I'm not much of a diorama person, so I don't really know how to use these glues. I know that less is more, but it's hard not to use more. You know what I mean? But I think everything is stuck down. I think it'll stay stuck down for a while, and this came out really fun. I really, really enjoyed doing this. I had a lot of fun playing with it. And, yeah. It was a good kit. I really liked it. So, until next week, stay safe.